Hi guys, and welcome once again to Curated Logic, where we try and up your brain game. Today, we are doing a follow-up walkthrough video to Please Don't Touch Anything, which was reviewed a couple of weeks ago. If you want to have a look at the review before the walkthrough, it is linked in the description below. So are the timestamps for each level within this walkthrough, so you can jump to where you need to be. Each level will also include hints and tips at the start of the walkthrough for that level, so you can have a bit of a guide just in case you don't want to see how to do everything. So, rather than yammer on anymore, let's get seeing how you finish Please Don't Touch Anything. Classic. The first level is the simplest in execution, but one that took me a bit of time to get. The reason it took me that time? Because of its simplicity. It works thusly. You are asked at the beginning of the game by your colleague not to touch anything. In order for you to be able to get that first light to flash yellow, you have to do just that. If you don't touch anything for about a minute or so, I never actually timed it, so I don't know the exact time, your colleague returns and thanks you for looking after the workstation and not touching anything, giving you the peaceful ending. From do as you're told to doing exactly the opposite. You want to press the big red button, don't you? Well, do it. Press it the maximum 20 times in a row, ignoring all the things that reveal themselves as you do so, and the screen will shut down, with the Disobedience ending all yours. This was the first ending I got, and likely the first most people do as well. After pressing the red button once, flick the switch that reveals itself and press the red button again, detonating an atomic bomb, wiping out the city right there in front of you. The first level that has a little more meat to it. Once you have completed the first 3 levels, you have exhausted all there is to do just by pressing a button or flicking a switch. Now, a little bit of logic and lateral thinking has to be employed. The first part is to do with the 3 buttons that reveal themselves after you press the red button twice. These buttons each have on them a Roman numeral, marking buttons 1 to 3. In order to know in which order to press them, you need to search out another place with Roman numerals somewhere on the screen. If you look on the right-hand side of the instructions poster, you will find what you are looking for. There, running vertically, is a set of 6 Roman numerals showing the combination 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. As luck would have it, when you start to press the 3 Roman numeral buttons, the screen in front of you shows that it is looking for 6 digits. Perfect. Enter the Roman numerals from the poster. Once you have done this, a panel with green buttons is opened in the top left-hand corner of the console with a big lever switch next to it. Put your pointer just to the left of the red handle of the lever and press or click to pull it to the left. This action so reveals another panel, this time made up of a keypad with numbers from 0 to 9 on it. Okay. Pressing any key on this pad reveals that you are searching for a 4-digit number. Again, searching the room, you will notice that on the bottom of the instructions poster, there is an equation that has a numerator and a denominator. Taking the 4 numbers that appear in the numerator and pressing them into the keypad, more panels are revealed. One of more numbered buttons labelled 1 to 4, and one of a 7x7 grid of green buttons. For the time being, ignore the numbered buttons and focus on the grid. Around the room, in particular just beneath the grid, there are pentagrams. If you attempt to press buttons on the grid, you realise quickly that you can only press 5, turning them red before the grid resets. 5 buttons, 5 points on a pentagram. So, press the buttons that would line up with the points of a pentagram standing straight, and the Satanic ending will begin. As you would have discovered from level 2, pressing the red button 15 times reveals a drawer with a hammer inside. If you take that hammer and smash the screen in front of you, a small button with a question mark is revealed. Press the button and the game shuts down before showing a screen with 4 symbols, one in each corner. Note to the wise, take note of these symbols, they are important later on. Once that screen disappears, all you need to do is use the restart lever to complete We Are Watching You. For this level, you need to start just as you did in level 4. After pressing the red button twice, using the Roman numerals on the instructions poster to reveal the lever, push it to the left. From there, however, rather than putting in the numbers from the numerator of the equation at the bottom of the instructions poster into the 10-digit keypad, you must enter the numbers from the denominator, squares included. This makes the combination entered 8232. Doing so, a small compartment will flip open at the bottom of the console, revealing a number display, underneath which there are 2 buttons, a left arrow and a right arrow. Press the left arrow and the display will start travelling backwards, taking you back to the past. Now that we have travelled into the past through level 6, it is time to travel back to the future with level 7. Just as you did in level 6, after pressing the red button twice, using the Roman numerals on the instruction poster to reveal the lever and pushing it to the left, enter the numbers from the denominator of the equation at the bottom of the poster into the 10-digit keypad to reveal the display and buttons, this time pressing the right arrow to send the display forward and you into the future. It is in this level that we begin to employ the other tool that appears after pressing the red button a number of times, the trusty screwdriver. For this level, the tool is to be used in the most obvious place, the screwed down panel right next to where it miraculously appeared. Once you have removed this panel, you will find 4 coloured buttons: red, blue, green, and yellow. Although there may not be that much that is instantly obvious showing in which order these buttons need to be pressed, if you look at the second instruction listed on the instructions poster, you should note that the word grab is spelt wrong, replacing the A for a B. G-R-B-B, all letters that begin a colour of one of the buttons just found. So press those buttons in the order given by this misspelling: green, red, blue, blue. And so you find the yin to your yang and reach the equivalent ending. As has been done in the last few levels, to begin this puzzle, you must enter the Roman numeral code and push the lever to the left. As was done in the Satanic ending, enter the 4 numbers in the numerator of the instructions equation into the 10-digit keypad, revealing the 7x7 grid and the 4 numbered buttons. Unlike last time though, this time you are going to focus on the 4 numbered buttons that appear. We saw in the last level that the instruction number 2 was used, but if you look at all 4 main instructions on the poster, you will see that they are out of order, with 4 following on from 2 before listing 3. Like in the previous puzzle, a supposed error gives the answer, using the order of the instructions 1, 2, 4, 3 as the combination of the buttons and bringing a black hole upon the city. Still carrying on in the same vein as most of the puzzles thus far, after entering the Roman numeral combination, you are heading over to the lever. This time, however, rather than pull it to the left, place your pointer just to the right of the red handle and click to pull the lever to the right. Doing so, you are given a bender panel made up of a 0 button and a 1 button, as well as what initially looks like a blackboard eraser. Ignoring the eraser looking thing for the moment, pressing either the 0 or the 1 shows you that you are looking for a 7-digit number, using only these 2 numbers. Whilst there isn't any 1 and 0 combinations anywhere, there are 7 dots in a row on the instructions poster, some dark and some light. Given this is effectively a binary code and so is your input, this is where you want to be. Replacing the dark dots for 1 and light ones for 0, you get the code 0010001, and you get the requisite bender ending. For this level, after pressing the correct Roman numeral combination, we are now going to completely ignore the revealed lever and move to the 4 green buttons in the top left-hand corner of the workstation. On the instructions poster, you will notice near the bottom that there is a series of arrows pointing to what appears to be the top left, the top right, the top right, and the top left. Use this as your guide and press the green buttons accordingly. Unfortunately, this does mean the annihilation of the human race by aliens, but you gotta do what you gotta do to win this game. And we reach the puzzle that is the sole reason the game suggests you wear headphones. This particular puzzle has a little bit to it, so bear with me. After a quick sojourn away from doing so in the last puzzle, we are back to entering the Roman numeral code before pulling the revealed lever to the left. As you have done numerous times before, enter the numerated numbers from the instructions equation into the 10-digit keypad to reveal the 4 numbered buttons and 7x7 grid. From here, we already know that we either need a 4-digit combination for the buttons or a 5-point combination for the grid. With no obvious new 5-point combo anywhere to be seen, let's focus on finding 4 digits. One part of the instructions poster we have not yet used is instruction number 3. A series of numbers equaling each other, there is an obvious gap where the 4th number should be. To figure out what this 4th number is, we must figure out what sequence the numbers are following, if any. In this case, there is a pattern. The sequence follows the logic that each number after the first is a representation of how many of each number there are in the number before it. For instance, the first number is 1. The second number says how many ones there are, that being 1, 1. The third number does the same, 2, 1. The fourth number, therefore, follows this logic, writing the third number as 1, 2 and 1, 1. 1, 2, 1, 1. I'm not exactly sure how well I explain that, so feel free to contact me if you need any further explanation. Anyway, you take that now, figured out fourth number, and enter it into the numbered buttons below. Whilst this may seem like enough for one puzzle, it isn't yet over. Entering this combination then reveals, out from the left-hand side of the console, a small piano keyboard with 3 keys on it. Pressing these keys and listening carefully, you will find that the notes each key plays are also the notes of a section of the background music of the game. So putting 2 and 2 together, you press the keys in the order that you hear them in the background music, that being right, right, middle, left, 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 middle, right. And down rains mighty meteors right in front of you. By now, you are very used to entering those good old Roman numerals and pulling the revealed lever to the left, and nothing about this level is going to change that. Once the numerals have been entered and the lever pulled, head back to the red button and press it until you reveal the screwdriver. Using the screwdriver, inspect the small wires that appear just under the display screen. In doing this, you will reveal a display to the left of the restart lever, which will take a 9-digit number. And now, if you're anything like me, you are probably stuck. This level took me a little bit of time, as I didn't think about leaving the game to do research until I had exhausted every other option I could come up with. The research I had to do was to do with what was revealed when you run your cursor over the "Don't Do It" sign that is revealed when the panel with the green buttons lifts up. That which is revealed is the name Pisano Leonardo. Eventually, I decided to look this name up as it wasn't familiar to me. In doing my research, I found that it was the first names of Fibonacci of the Fibonacci sequence. Although this sequence is infinite, given it was the only new thing I had to go off of, I decided to enter the first 9 digits of the sequence into the 9-digit display using the 10-digit keypad. It was by entering this combination 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13 that the ending I had been searching for came. This level starts the same as level 11, entering Roman numerals before moving across to the 4 green buttons that are subsequently revealed. However, rather than press the green buttons as you did in level 11, which you know just brings about an ending straight away, there is a different combination to use. On the instructions poster, under the arrows you used to solve level 11, indicating in which order to press the top 2 green buttons, there is the word correct written upside down. Given this word is written upside down, perhaps something else, that being the arrows, are also written upside down. Using this thought, the arrows would then show the opposite of the order used in level 11, and now be bottom right, bottom left, bottom left, bottom right. Pressing the green buttons in this order doesn't give you an ending like the other order did, but it does reveal more elements for you to use. A strange box with D4 written on it, and a panel that counts up to 999 with the number 276 written on it. Heading over to this counter and pressing the grey button, the display starts counting up, stopping only when you press the red button. And if you stop the counter on 276 and then press the red button again, you unleash some unholy greenery that overruns the city. This level is one of a couple that you will come across randomly from time to time. The aim is pretty self-explanatory. Don't crash into any buildings by destroying them before you reach the ground. One thing to note with this level, however, when you do finally complete it, the the stage clear message actually has an extra secret message in it, revealing a code that you will use later on in another level. This code is revealed through the phrase, "You drop or bomb," at the bottom of the screen. You will notice that in this phrase, 4 letters go in and out of focus, they being the letters Y, R, B, B. Given we have already solved a level that uses similar type letters, it is not a stretch to gather that these will be used with the coloured buttons under the screwed down panel. But for now, and for this level, nothing else is necessary apart from pulling that restart lever. By now, you should be very used to doing everything that is necessary to reveal the drawer with the hammer. Do that. Once you have the hammer, use it to smash the big red button in the center of the console. On doing this, you will reveal that contained within the button is an alien. An alien that you must destroy. The way this level works is this. After you hit the center alien, it will begin to bleed, its blood dripping down towards the restart lever. It will also protect itself after you hit it and produce some spawn that come out of the console. You must hit each of the spawn 3 times before you can go back and start hitting the mama alien again. You repeat this 2 more times, with more spawn appearing each time, at which point you go to town on the main alien. A few points to know, however. First, the blood that is running down eventually will hit the restart lever if you are too slow and cause it to drop down, restarting the game if you haven't completed the level. It took me a while to figure this bit out, but I had plenty of tries to figure it out, as the second point is that you need to be fast. I came up with the technique of hitting each spawn for the 3rd time as I was moving away from them, otherwise I found the extra milliseconds it took to hit then move would cost me the level. This level might be frustrating at points for how quick you need to be, but once you get in the groove of it and kill that mama alien, you will get the ending you desire. Once again for this level, we need to use the screwdriver. Press the red button until you get this tool, and then take it over to the instructions poster to reveal a secret panel behind it. On this panel, there are 3 dials, each with a green light. When I was playing this, there were times when all these 3 green lights were on, which I thought maybe meant the puzzle was solved, but nothing happened. Playing around with the dials, however, I figured out that you need to position each dial to be at 12 o'clock. As far as I can tell, if you position the dials correctly, the green lights will also be on. From there, a small printout should appear with dark and light squares in rows of 4. The number of dark squares in each row are meant to be counted, starting from the bottom row to the top, as the bottom row was the first to be printed. From there, as you have pressed the red button more than twice already, the 3 Roman numeral buttons will already be available for use, and you just so happen to have a 6-digit number that only contains the numbers 1 to 3. Enter the code you have from the printout into the Roman numeral buttons. It should be different for each player. Then, all you need to do is sit back and watch the Death Star's laser destroy the city. For this level, we head back to level 14 and repeat the first few steps. Roman numerals and the green button combination using the 2 bottom buttons rather than the top ones. After doing this, the same D4 box and counter will appear on the right hand side of the console. Last time you used the counter, you would have entered the number 276. This time, however, you are going to enter the other 3-digit number that has been staring at you to the left of the restart lever. That's right, 666. Stopping the counter at 666 and pressing the red button on the counter a second time, you reveal a panel of green buttons, each with a different symbol on it. Now, if you have been following along, you will recall that 4 of the symbols on these buttons you have seen before. In the corners after pressing the question mark button behind the screen in level 5. The symbols that appeared there were a key, an hourglass, an eye, and the double waves. I initially thought I had to press those buttons, but instead you have to press all but those buttons, so they are the only ones left on. Once you do, you are treated to some very happy buildings, glad to be part of the city. This level definitely took some thinking. This wasn't the last level I completed, but it was really one of the toughest. Your first steps are the same as many levels before this one. Roman numerals, lever to the left, numerated digits in the 10-digit keypad. From there, you need to get the screwdriver and reveal what is behind the instructions poster once again. This time, you are focusing on the scraps of paper pinned up next to the dials. On the paper, there is written D7, D1, and what appears to be B4 torn in 2. There is also space for another piece of paper, but this one is missing. Looking at what is written on each piece of paper, these should remind you of something else. If you press the bottom green button combination as you have done before to reveal the box and counter to the right of the console, you will take note of the D4 written on top of the small box. So, all in all, between the box and those written behind the instructions poster, you have 4 letter number combos. From here, the trial and error required, for me at least, was a lot. I tried a number of different ways I thought I might be able to enter this information, but ended up sort of stumbling across where I was meant to put it in a moment I thought I was trying something that just wouldn't work. Given the letter number combo, I thought perhaps that these represented coordinates. After a bit of thinking, the only place I could think of putting them in as coordinates was the green grid that is revealed when the numerated digits are entered into the 10-digit keypad. So, labeling the grid vertically for the numbers and horizontally for the letters, I began pressing the corresponding buttons for B4, D1, D4, and D7. As I began to do so, however, I remembered that I would need 5 inputs, but only had 4. I wasn't personally able to find any indication about what the 5th coordinate should be, if it was anything at all, except for the fact that the pattern only needed one more button to be symmetrical, that being the button corresponding to F4. So, I pressed this, and lo and behold, this worked, opening up the D4 box and revealing a diamond. Much to my chagrin, however, this was not the end of the puzzle, and I still had more to figure out. Once you have gotten to this point, do what you need to do to get yourself the screwdriver, using it to unscrew the panel that reveals the 4 coloured buttons. It is here that you will need to recall the ending of level 15, City Boom. As I said in the walkthrough of that stage, on the last screen when playing the City Boom level, 4 letters are flashing in and out of focus within the sentence, "You drop or bomb." These letters are Y, R, B, B. And as has been done before with the GRBB combination from the instructions poster, YRBB stands for the first letters of the colours you need to press. Yellow, red, blue, blue. Perfect. Once you have done this, a panel with a gash in it is opened up beneath the coloured buttons. But you are still not done. From here, I basically tried everything I could think of to do, looking for anything that could be possibly considered a hint. Eventually, I noticed that when the panel lid that has the "Don't Do It" sign is open, it cuts in half two pictures behind it, having them ending up looking like the numbers 4 and 2 on the left-hand side and 2 planets on the right-hand side. Thinking that these planets may represent zeros, I tried combinations of these numbers in the 10-digit keypad with 4020, opening the panel beneath the coloured button fully. From there, the rest of this level is self-explanatory. Pick up the diamond from the small box and place it in the setting on the right of the newly opened panel. Then, press the button to the left to unleash the sandworm. At various times throughout this game, you will have a screen presented in front of you that will show an awaiting input sign. If you press the red button as the input, more red buttons will appear. This happens in a total of 6 groups, each one needing all the new buttons that have appeared since the last group to be pressed in order to have completed the necessary input. Once you have completed all 6 groups of buttons, you will be presented with a screen that says, "Thank you for your cooperation. You got the job." And that, my friend, is it. After you have flicked the restart switch a number of times, the edge of some sort of booklet will show in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Picking it up, you will realise that this is a passport. On the screen appears someone wearing a Guy Fawkes mask, with you having the option to 2 stamps over the passport, one to deny this person entry and one to approve it. Hit the red stamp to deny entry to complete this level. This was a good level, mainly because it took me so long to notice something that was there all the time, and I felt stupid, but in a good way, for not seeing it earlier. When you press the red button for the first time, next to it, to the right of the button, at the bottom, appears a small, faint grey arrow pointing to the right. If you click just to the right of the arrow, a button will be pressed, revealing a red arrow pointing diagonally down and to the left. Following this arrow, and all of the others that come after it, eventually the 7x7 grid will appear, but quickly downsize to a 5x3. If you press a button on this grid, it and all of its surrounding buttons will turn yellow. To finish this level, you must turn all the buttons yellow. This can take some time depending on your technique, but I found the way shown in this video the best, ignoring of course the mistake I made at the end of pressing the second button in the far left column when I was trying to press the first to finish the whole puzzle. Okie doke. We are now into the final 3 levels, and this is the first of 2 levels that involve aspects I either don't have an explanation for, or I needed help on due to them not working for me. In this level, there was just one point I didn't see any way to get an input without pure trial and error, but we will get to that later. One thing you need to know about this puzzle: it needs to be done in 2 parts, restarting in between each part. Part 1 starts with the Roman numerals and pulling the lever to the right to expose the bender panel and the small blackboard eraser looking thing beneath that. If you pick up the eraser looking thing, you will realise that it is actually a blue light. Using the blue light, it will reveal a whole lot of hidden images and codes upon the top of the console. There are two main parts of these images to look at. The first is just to the left of the panel with the screws. There, using the light, you will see written the numbers 0-23, 1-4, and 2-1. Take note of this. From there, move the blue light down to the bottom right or the right of the front of the console, and there you will see a map of the solar system with the sun in the middle and rings representing the orbit of the planets and such around it. One of these planets, or used to be planet now, has a question mark pointing to it. This is Pluto. Fantastic! You now have what you need. Time to restart and move on to part 2. Once restarted, Roman numeral it up again, this time pulling the resulting lever to the left. Remember the number sets we got from the blue light? Well, the left-hand number of each set represents the number you are to enter, and the right-hand numbers are the positions the left-hand numbers have to be in. In this case, this means 0 is in the second and third spots, 1 is in the fourth spot, and 2 is first. This makes the 4-digit number 2001. Enter this into the 10-digit panel to reveal a large combination lock mechanism with 3 parts. Flicking through these parts, you should quickly realise that these letters shown will spell out some of the planets of our solar system. Luckily for us, we know which one it wants: Pluto. Once you have positioned the lock components to spell out Pluto, the middle component will open and reveal a key. From here, you have to get the screwdriver and unscrew the panel to reveal the coloured buttons. Now, here I am going to pause for a second. This is the point where I am not sure if there is a proper way to know what to do next, outside of trial and error. If you know of one, please let me know in the comments below, as I'd love to fill in the gaps. Okay, unpause. It is now that you must press the red button 4 times to reveal a keyhole underneath the 4 green button panel on the left-hand side of the console. Grab the key that was revealed in the combination lock and put it in the keyhole to complete this level. From a level that I was not sure how to finish without trial and error, to one I had to actually look up one component of, as I found out, that particular piece of the puzzle was just not working for me. To start, do your normal Roman numeral combo and pull the revealed lever to the right. Once the bender panel and blue light has been revealed, grab the blue light and shine it on the panel with the 4 green buttons to reveal the word Morse and arrows above and below. Okay, let's pause again, because this is the point where I wasted a lot of time trying to interpret this and search for something I could use Morse code on, but I always came away empty-handed. In the end, although I don't like to admit it, I had to look up what to do next, and realised that I had actually done exactly what I was meant to do a number of times, but it had just never worked. What this was you were meant to use the blue light on the Don't Do It sign to reveal the letters D, O, and T highlighted. However, anytime I would try and use the blue light on this sign, it would flick up to reveal the Pisano-Leonardo clue. Even after knowing what to do, I went back and tried a number of times from every single angle, but could never get the sign not to flick up. If there is a technique to this, or if there is a bug on the Switch version that doesn't allow you to do it, please flick me a comment to let me know. Anyway, back to the game. Once I had this bit of info, it was time to figure out what to do with it. So from there, I did a Google search, translated the word dot into Morse code, and realised I was left with 7 inputs. Dash, dot, dot, dash, 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 dash. Knowing already that the Bender binary panel takes 7 inputs, I translated each dash to a 1 and each dot to a 0 and put in 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, which just so happened to solve the level. For the final level, after you have completed all other 24 levels, your colleague returns and thanks you for waiting, explaining that the console in front of you is just a souped up coffee machine. After your colleague is done speaking, all you need to do is press the red button to get yourself a cup of joe and finish the level and the game. And that is it. All 25 levels of the classic version of Please Don't Touch Anything on the Nintendo Switch. I hope this walkthrough was helpful for you and that you have enjoyed it. If there are any games that you would like me to play and do a walkthrough for, let me know in the comments below. I have a long list already, but a good subscriber suggestion goes straight to the top of the list. And if you want to continue upping your brain game, please follow Curated Logic on any of the social listed above or below, or you can support us through Patreon so we can keep up the work, which is also listed above and below. I hope wherever you are in the world you are keeping safe and happy. Until next time, keep upping your brain game and have fun. See ya.